Uber. We
Right.
all had to live through this life of finding the cab, and I know whether you're in Mumbai or you're Delhi, cabs were the biggest problem. And as
Right.
a consultant, we used to have always a cab blocked because we were going into client side all the time. That was very, very inefficient. And then suddenly Uber and Ola comes and they build it. They use the technology to make this available to you within 5 minutes. As soon as you order, you track it. So that's the best use of technology where you really change the life of the person,
Correct.
the problem which he's facing. And that's when you get the highest premium.
Build fast or build right? What has been your instinct as a leader?
2 years back, I would have said build right, but now build fast because building is very, very easy. And you don't have to worry too much about whether it will work or not. Just build.
Hi everyone, you're watching the mainstream. I'm Simran Shiwalkar, your host for today, and we are back with the latest episode of our weekly live series. And today we are joined by Mr. Ankur Dhawan. Ankur, firstly, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot for inviting me. I really appreciate the time taken by you and a chance for me to share my views.
Hey, absolutely. And let me take a moment to introduce Ankur and share a few things about him. To begin with, he is the Chief Product and Technology Officer at upGrad, a leader who sits at the intersection of technology, product thinking, and learner psychology. He has also played a pivotal role in shaping upGrad's evolution into a future ready learning ecosystem. With his sharp lens on AI, emerging tech, and new engineering paradigms, Ankur is reimagining how learning platforms deliver impact at scale. I'm more than excited to lead this conversation with him today and understand his perspective on the evolution of tech landscape and learning platforms. Without any further ado, let's begin. Ankur, thank you once again. And with that, I would like to bring my very first question to you. Looking back across your multiple roles and transitions, can you tell us what experiences have most shaped the way you think today about technology, business, product, and the learner's journey? What has been your take and how has it been?
Sure, sure. So I think it's not a typical journey of a CPTO, that much I can say. I started my career as a software engineer. So yes, most of them will be doing that. It was very initial days when I came out of my engineering education. One thing which kept bothering me during that time was that whatever I'm doing, whatever software I'm writing, whatever night outs I'm doing, how is it impacting my user, my customer? As a software engineer, you don't get to experience that because you're sitting in a cubicle and you're just writing code, and somebody's telling you this is the Jira you have to close today. And that was the reason why I said, okay, this is not something I want to do all my life. Let me move out and see what is there on the other side. And the other side always is greener, grass is always greener. So I
Right.
moved to do my MBA, and post MBA, I was lucky to get into consulting organization. And during that, and I don't know how much you know about consulting, but it's consulting, in case you want to understand, it's the highest leverage organization.
Right.
You straight away are thrown to a CXO's office and you are trying to understand his problems and advising him on the how to solve those problems. You develop a keen insight on the business side of the problems, and you start understanding your customers better. You know how to communicate with them better. You start thinking about the problems in a frameworkish way. I think it's not you go into too much of details. One thing which I will say during that time, which I learned, was that as a business leaders also, we expect them to know everything about the organization, but typically either they're too much into details that they don't see the big picture, or there's only big picture, they don't see the details. So that's why the consultants are there. And post that, I moved to Pine Labs to do my another stint to build something very entrepreneurial. But I got to see a lot of sales and business development. I used to meet a lot of clients to understand. So if you look at these three experiences which I want to discuss, was the only common thing which you will find here is that the customer.
Right.
I started building a keen insight on what my customer wants and how I can solve that using technology. That's what made a difference to the career which I have now built on product and tech side. And that's what my overall theory has been, that if you are building something, whether it's tech or non-tech, whether you're building any business,
Right.
if it is not solving a business problem of a customer, or a customer problem, not business problem, it is not solving a customer problem, then there is very limited survival chances or sustainability or growth or scale. Now, how much profit you can make depends on how are you solving that problem. Is it just an incremental solution, or is going to completely transform his life?
Right.
That is the way the difference means that the organization which have done well are actually transforming the lives of the customers. So I can take example of some of them, but just one example to start with, like Uber. We
Right.
all had to live through this life of finding the cab, and I know whether you're in Mumbai or you're Delhi, cabs were the biggest problem. And as
Right.
a consultant, we used to have always a cab blocked because we were going into client side all the time. That was very, very inefficient. And then suddenly Uber and Ola comes and they build it. They use the technology to make this available to you within 5 minutes. As soon as you order, you track it. So that's the best use of technology where you really change the life of the person,
Correct.
the problem which he's facing. And that's when you get the highest premium. And but if I look at the way Indian startups, it's mostly that they have started using technology to solve one particular problem of acquiring customers. So the belief is that the customers are going online. If you look at the overall theme of internet, a lot of mobile phone users, all of them have internet. 5G is available, 4G is available. Now they have internet, so obviously they will go on internet, do something, and I will be able to acquire them, get them cheaper,
Right.
affordably. But that is the theory with because of which most of the organizations have suffered because it's not cheaper at all. The Googles and the Facebooks and the Metas of the world are actually making money out of the whole. So
Correct.
customer acquisition, if that is the only problem a technology team is solving, then it's very, very limited. And typically it has not worked for any of the organization. All of the organization have suffered because of the high customer acquisition cost we call. But then if you leverage technology in solving the real customer problem, then you will obviously get a premium and you'll get something, you can build a good business out of it. So that's my view. That's how I look at technology, that we
That's
have to solve real problems and not only that, how do I acquire them?
so, Ankur, firstly, thank you so much for giving us a glimpse of your journey and letting us know how you see technology and big brands coming into India and how they perceive technology from your observation as well. Also, adding to that, do you think there is a common psyche, especially with Indian tech organizations? First is to, of course, acquiring the bigger customer scale to acquire the customers, but also to kind of, just pinpoint one single umbrella, I would say, a problem that one size fit all approach, kind of like that. But maybe from what we have seen and observed, lockdown and COVID has kind of changed that from whatever startups that have come, and they're trying to at least, change the approach. What is your take?
No, there are a lot of good work happening in the startup space. Not that everybody is doing the same customer acquisition. I think
Right.
I see a lot of good work done on the even the artificial intelligence side. I see people as thinking about the real problems and trying to solve. And even I think one of the concept which is pure Indian concept is this quick delivery, quick service delivery, whatever we
Correct.
call it. And that quick commerce actually is an Indian invention. People just figured it out. Okay, in India, if you have to go to a mall or whatever place, it's too, I'd say, inefficient to find a
Correct.
parking slot and then go and buy something which is very low value.
Right.
And it's a pure Indian invention. They saw a real problem that people will want some things very quickly. Let's solve that problem by going quick commerce. And similarly, now this new bunch of this Snapbit and made service provider. These are some real problems using technology. So how much it is scalable and how much technology can really solve that problem is something I will not talk about. But at least they saw a real problem of a housewife suddenly not having a maid on a day and struggling and then going to office and all that things. So yes, a lot of these guys are solving some real business problems. Some of them are pure tech problem of artificial intelligence, which startups are doing. But large names which we keep typically hear have focused on using the tech only to acquire customers. So
Right.
that's their struggle is their customer acquisition cost does not justify the P&Ls and they are in loss and raising money again and again.
Ankur, thank you so much for, answering that. But I also want to understand as these kind of shift, they move or they accelerate, what do they demand from learning platforms, especially for brands or organizations like upGrad, in terms of product design or curriculum relevance as well, and a long-term learner's support? Do you think there are multiple things that these platforms need to look into?
Yeah, I can talk more from upgrade perspective. I think upgrade has a dual responsibility. The
Right.
first responsibility comes to our learners and ensuring that whatever we teach is not stale.
Correct.
And the way the AI is changing, the way AI world is changing, every day a new tool is coming, every day a new model is coming, every day a new concept is coming. It's really difficult for people like me who are on top of tech. We get overwhelmed. So we need to ensure that the curriculum itself is on up to date on a daily basis in some days. So there's a big responsibility we have been ensuring, and we realize that very soon the most of the organization will require AI skilled employees. So we launched few programs which take care of this requirement of ensuring that every employee understand how they can use AI in their daily life, their work life, and become more productive. So that is one big goal of upskilling which upgrade carries. But at the same time, as people come to a platform, they expect the organization which is teaching us AI should be leveraging the AI themselves, and the whole learning experience should be AI driven. And we all know that learning has never been a pleasurable thing for multiple people. There are people who love to learn, they will go and they will do top in the college, but most of the people just go through the college saying that whenever it is ending. Going back to learning is a tough thing. So you need to ensure that whoever is coming to a platform should be engaged, should be motivated, should be properly given support so that because of the platform itself, he should not drop out of the learning. So we have built a lot of AI things. We have a bot which is available 24/7 for these learners who can come and ask questions, whatever queries, academic, non-academic, it answers. We have built few other things that if they miss a particular live session has been a big thing. If they miss a session, they should not be going through the 3 hour recording again. There are ways of summarizing that and giving them the key points so that they can quickly go to the real part of the videos. Then multiple other things we are doing. So we are ensuring that our platform is leveraging AI to ensure that the learning becomes fun and it's more effective. And it is not that. So I what I believe is that the return on the time investment on my platform for my learners should be high, and we should keep increasing it.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to shift gears here. I also want to understand from you, Ankur, from a CTO's vantage point, how do you kind of build a platform that kind of balances deep tech, scalable architecture, and the very human needs of learners seeking growth and clarity? Of course, we already touched based upon AI and its, supreme uses, how learners can take the advantage to the fullest. But is there anything beyond that from a CTO's perspective, if you could throw some light on that?
Yeah, I think so. For me, it's not that big a problem because I said I my career is not a typical CPTO role. It has been coming from businesses. I built businesses, scaled them, and then I took this role. But I can understand few times when I also feel interest or whatever I'll say, attraction toward doing something which I'm not sure whether my learners will need or not because of the AI. And you said clearly that this new paradigm of development gives you a lot more flexibility to do a lot more features now. So example being that something called computer use.
Right,
Now you can hand over whatever you want to computer and that it will do completely. The AI will use your computer and do some actions. Now
correct.
that is one thing which is very, very exciting for a tech guy. Oh wow, this is something very, very different. If I start using that because it is new, it is different, it is shiny, I will build this in my part of my product and I will go for it. Then that is where the trade-offs happen. Now, whether you want you don't even sure that whether your customer needs it, whether he will be okay to hand over the whole responsibility to a AI for doing something on his platform, on his laptop, is a big deal. So I've seen sometimes the CTOs, not the I'll say CPTO, but CTOs get too attracted towards the new shiny technology and they start building features without understanding whether the customers will need it or not. For
Right,
upgrade, fortunately, we haven't gone that route. We have always, as I mentioned, that my upbringing has been mostly on the focus on the customer. So I keep this in mind that before I do something or deploy some feature, we should be very clear why is it needed, and as I mentioned, what is the return on time investment for my learner I'm going to increase.
right.
So we keep that as our North Star metric.
Okay. Thank you once again, Ankur. And lastly, Ankur, if you could leave today's learners and professionals with one message about staying relevant, staying adaptive, and staying confident in a world that is constantly filled with updates, what would it be?
Yeah, I think I'll repeat myself, but that's important. See, the learning has never been forte of multiple people, and in large organizations with lakhs of people, it's very difficult to ensure that everybody is learning. But as an individual, as an employee, as a contributor to an organization, we need to see what we have to do if we have to survive in the coming world. And we are hearing this layoffs happening everywhere. If you do not upskill every day, I think it's just matter of time when this whole thing will end for you. So my
Right.
sincere advice for everybody is to spend at least, if not 1 hour, at least half an hour you should spend every day to learn something new. And that upskilling has to be part of your DNA. It should not be forced. I know you have to change. If this requires change, you have to change yourself. That is only when you will be able to survive in a corporate career.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a very insightful conversation, Ankur. Thank you so much for that. But before we wrap up, I also have a couple of rapid fire questions for you. Basically, anything that comes to your mind first. Are you ready?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, let's do this. One trend in technology that you believe is very much underrated at this moment.
I'll say voice AI. It's not
Hmm.
being used much, but I think that is going to change the way the learning happens.
Absolutely. And a skill every professional should invest in the next decade.
I think AI is something you can't avoid, so we are very bullish on it.
That being said, one misconception about AI you wish people would kind of let go.
People believe that it's difficult and they will not be able to learn. And it's technical, they believe multiple times that this will be technical work, so they avoid it. But the way the AI is being developed, I think it's becoming much more human friendly.
Right. Ankur, build fast or build right? What has been your instinct as a leader?
2 years back, I would have said build right, but now build fast because building is very, very easy. And you don't have to worry too much about whether it will work or not. Just build.
Okay. And lastly, if you weren't in tech, which career path you would have chosen?
I have done a lot of lot of career paths. So I think the last one which is left is the entrepreneurship. So most probably, yes, look forward to taking an entrepreneur role.
Wow, perfect. Thank you so much, Ankur. And once again, thank you so much for being a part of the series and joining me today. Well, while I wrap up, I most definitely look forward to having more such conversations with you.
Sure, look forward to. My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye.